again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RV Business Capitol Talk, sponsored by Eric Sell. I'm Rick Kessler from RV Business. Sherman Goldenberg from RV Business is with us again. And joining the two of us today is Bob Martin from THOR Industries. Bob, of course, President and CEO of what is the world's largest RV manufacturer. Bob, hey, thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's always an honor to share a little conversation with both of you.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Bob, the timing of this Capitol Talk couldn't be better. Yesterday was signing day for high school football recruits, and we were hoping you would break down Purdue's 25-person class.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know it was a big day, and I saw some of the social media, but college athletics are very different right now with the portal and NIL and things that we can talk about for hours.
And just to add to that, Purdue being number one in basketball nationally is noteworthy. So, all right.
Thank you. As an IU fan, I know that had to hurt.
It was painful. As we started to say before we turn the tape on, crazy time for Bob Martin, for you, and because of year-end stuff and the pace at which you've been running, first quarter release, board meetings, etc. Give us a look at the high points for you, the things that your takeaways.
Yeah, for me, I mean, obviously it was a rough year for all, especially in North America with all the interest rate increases and all the macro events. There are just sometimes things that we are out of our control. So for me and our companies, and we just try to control the things that we can. And, the outside world is going to do what it is. So it's been a challenge, but I'm very blessed to have a team of people that have worked with me for, many, 10 plus years, 20 plus years, people that I call friends, and it makes the tough times easier to get through. And, we've got great dealer partners throughout North America as well that give us great feedback, and, just it's how we kind of check the temperature of what, past year was and what next year could be, is really through the dealers that we talk to. And so for me, I finished up board meetings last week. It's been a fall of constant travel, either traveling to Europe for our subsidiary, and there our Ronheimer group that is kind of bucking the trend. Europe is remaining a very strong part of our business, and it's quite simple. Just in Europe, 80% of the customers pay for their units in cash. They don't rely on financing. So the interest rates were not driving their business. Where in the US, it's the opposite. It's about 80% finance. So interest rates do have a direct effect. So our teams there have had great summer, great fall. And we're very happy to have our European business unit right now that's performing at a very high level. So for us, we have that little bit of balance. And then just looking at next year, it's still cautiously optimistic to see what's coming. But we're always excited for what's around the corner.
I was scanning your financials, and I noticed that your comments, I believe, said that you're looking more for a rebounding in the second half of 2024 than the first.
Yeah, I mean, no one has the crystal ball, but I think you see some of the things from stock market, the Fed signaling, possibly some cuts. That's something we need, and those positive signs can really help us get back to more of a normalized rate. But it'll probably be that second half of the year. And so for me, December is always a horrible barometer because it's hard to compete against Santa. We've had snow, here it's gone today, but we've had snow a few times here in northern Indiana. So we're really waiting for a lot of these spring shows to give us the first great barometer. And for us, it's Cleveland, Tampa. Those mid-January shows are going to give us the great feel of how busy the shows are, how sales are going, what dealer optimism is.
Rick, we should segue there because I know asking about the Tampa show was on our list.
Yeah.
What should attendees to the Tampa show and these others, but in particular Tampa, be looking for from THOR?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all of our companies are all on separate displays. You walk in through the main front door, and you have the iconic Airstream in the first hall, and that's always a showpiece for everybody. But really, everywhere you go, our companies had a great open house week. They had a lot of new features, products, refinements, and so a lot of those will be on display at Tampa. Tampa last year was another very large crowd, over 70,000 people, where I think we'd still be looking for that. Tampa's just one that people come from all over to see product, and they may buy at Tampa, but they may go buy from their home dealer when they get back in the spring or work something out over the phone. But I think Tampa should be another very strong show. And good times or bad. I mean, customers, they go to shows, they love to shop, they love to see what's new. So we're excited for that. We're excited just to be there. We'll be there in full force, probably one of the biggest Tampas ever. So I think for us, we're just excited to get down there and see what customers think. Again, we don't have the crystal ball. We kind of move with the market, and as we're down there, we'll be there. We'll be busy, and we're excited to go.
Bob, I was curious. I've only been in the industry here for about 9.5 years or so. Are there any comparisons to be made from this current, let's call it a soft market, to previous cyclical soft markets?
I mean, there are comparisons, but it's everything's different. I mean, it's you go back, you had the spike of COVID down,
Right.
and right back up. 9/11, that was something where the industry slowed for a period of time and then went right back up very quickly. And then, I was at Keystone at the time in 08, 09, and that with the credit being the biggest thing, it was extended there as well. So it's it's not exactly like any others, but for us, anytime the macro has an effect, we just keep doing what we're doing. We focus on products, innovation, new features. We keep our product development machine going. Some may back off. We kind of lead into it because we know that as it comes back, and it will, our customers many are fortunate. They own an RV and they don't have to trade in every 3 to 5 years. Many of them choose to do so. So for us, we're really just leaning into that as we look at what the future holds. We're not the best at predicting, but we're really good at reacting as an industry. And so that's probably one of my best ways of presenting it. It's always a challenge for me. I have to present a 3-year plan to my board, and there are some years that you're on, some years that you're off, but we've been pretty consistent with just the guidance that we've given. And I also, I tend to look at some of the outside indicators such as Toby at KOA. We talk periodically, and they put out great information just on campground bookings. And even in 08, 09, before Toby was there, Pat was the CEO of KOA, and I can remember in a tough time, just about this time of year, probably I called Pat, and he said, "Listen, our bookings are still very strong for next year," and Toby's confirmed that their bookings still look very good. So people are camping. They're continuing the lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that many or most, once they start, they don't get out of it. They grow, they change units, they go to a bigger unit, sometimes a smaller. But once they get this camping in your blood, you don't really leave it. And there's still many of the macro effects of, I don't know if you've flown recently, just the security's up, the flights are tough, they're packed, they're expensive, hotels are expensive. I still have to travel quite a bit, and I remember being at the RVDA convention and just seeing the price of meals while you're out there. I mean, our lifestyle still is very affordable compared to many other ways to recreate. So I still think there's great positives, and you know, we're looking to the future. We get through these tough times. You just kind of hunker down, and you have a good team that rallies through.
That's an upbeat comments. You know, as if you've been through this kind of a psychologically this kind of a cycle before, huh?
Yeah, no, it's 0809 was still the toughest time I've ever had. That's just, you know, there are many things you have to do just for the greater good of the company, and it's a lot of cuts. It's you know, a lot of things that are painful, and you know, you do it so that you can come back stronger. And you know, this is where THOR's kind of built for this, with our variable business model that Peter and Wade created, and we follow their handbook and their guidance, and I'm lucky I still have Peter on the board, so he's been through this for more times than I, and so I'm fortunate to draw upon, you know, some people with, you know, more experience than I have. Even though I look like I'm about 60, I'm only about 54. So
Good for you. But a couple of headlines that I wanted to touch on. One of which is divisional changes you announced not too long ago. Tell me about those. What triggered all that?
you're talking about Ryan and Kyle.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Fox,
I mean,
and Judy.
what triggered it ultimately was, you know, the passing of one of our presidents and one of our friends,
Yeah.
Mr. Kultukian, in May, and you know, that's something I've never experienced, and so you kind of rely on some of your outside mentors and guidance on what to do. So Matt Zimmerman did a great job. He took his time. He moved to KZ at least part-time and helped manage the company for several months, and then made the changes of moving Kyle to Heartland and Ryan Jude to KZ. And for us, it's just something we do. We're proud that we can make these moves from within. We have a very strong bench. We had great options, but at the end of the day, you know, Matt worked with me. He worked with our executive staff. He talked to the other presidents. He just got feedback on who's going to be the best fit to backfill some positions. It's you know, it's something we've had to do over the years for many reasons. Never quite like this, but I think the overall feedback has been just very good, that you know, you've got the right people in the right spot, you know, moving them from physical locations just to places that really play upon their strengths. You know, that's Ryan Jude's, that he's that good farm boy that fits right in, and literally he does. And Kyle's, he's aggressive, and you know, even for him, he lives on the north side of town, and he was driving to Keystone, you know, 30-40 minutes a day. And so we take many different things into account, and you know, but again, we're really blessed that we have just a deep bench, and it's something that we talk about all the time, just succession planning. We have to be prepared for the unforeseen, and you know, this is where you're never totally prepared, but we were, and I feel like, you know, especially Matt Zimmerman, and then all the presidents banded together and helped each other, and you know, did the right thing in a tough time.
Yeah.
Another headline, and I won't beat this to death, but this one was really pertinent to me. EV charging, EV issues really has been a prominent headline from THOR lately, and nationally, frankly. I mean, what an intriguing topic. You guys are, it's fair to say, have taken the lead within this industry and trying to figure out where things ought to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've taken a lead, but with caution. I mean, we're watching, you know, again, there needs to be an infrastructure before people can focus too much on, you know, EV cars, EV trailers. We introduced at Tampa last year, or 2 years ago, our eStream, which was our first, well, it was actually our second. We built one in Europe the year before that. That's a, you know, the trailer that if you're towing it, you really don't feel it behind you, because it's running on its own drive motors with batteries, and it can actually charge the car. But the cost is still quite high right now. And then part of what you're referring to is the the push of the plan of charging, we really need legislators and RVIA to help push for charging stations that not just one, you really need them where you can pull up. There's one for your car and there's one for your trailer. And so we laid out a creative schematic of what that would look like. Kay Featherstone leads our innovation team, and he laid out this presentation, and it really is. And even if you think about it, I mean, it's cars towing an RV, but other industries will have to come to this as well. You know, over the road trucking, they're as we go more EV, they need this infrastructure. And for us, I say we're doing it with caution because we're watching the EV car market kind of hit a blip right now as well. So it's just something that we do want to be first. We want to be a leader, but we know where our core business is, and we're not going to get ahead of our skis.
It's an intriguing topic nationally. It really is. The infrastructure that it's going to take to make all this work, aside from all the rest of the politics and the climate change conversation and all that. Rick, you had something.
Well, Bob, I would be remiss if I didn't make mention that all of us at RV Business were very impressed with the 2024 product from your various divisions. Matter of fact, I think THOR Industries had more products mentioned by us in our end of year awards than any other manufacturer. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I didn't go count them up, but
well, I did. What turning back again to the Tampa show, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of those products there. Any other surprises you care to pass along?
Right now, really no big surprises at Tampa for us. You know, 2 years ago we had the EV unveiling. I'm there with investors. They love to come to that show. So there's no real event other than just, you know, all the RVs that you saw at open house. Most of those will be at the show on display for sale, which, you know, is part of the reason we had the shift in the time frame of open house, you know, over the years from a Louisville to a fall time frame. So dealers, when they saw the product, they could buy it and they could have it for the spring show. So, you know, looking just at everything, you know, the dealers are really focused well on their previous model years, their 22s and 23s. And so I think you'll have a good, strong showing of, you know, a lot of 24s at the new show, just to create the excitement. It's what our teams do really well in product development and creating the excitement to where a customer, they may walk in the show with no intent to buy. But if there's been a little bit of positive news, you know, interest rates, you know, lower gas, whatever it is, if I've watched people just walk in and be caught off guard, and all of a sudden they fall in love and they find themselves buying a new camper. And so I'm sure you'll see some of that, but to what extent, I really don't know until I get down there and I'm experiencing it.
Well, the warm weather might play a factor in that good vibes too. Let's hope.
Something about, you know, sunshine and palm trees. Everybody's walking around Tampa happy.
Should we let them off the hook, Rick?
I think so. I was going to ask you about back in the day when you had your signing day. Did you have a press conference? Did you have the hats laid out in front of you?
You're talking about Purdue again now.
Yeah, no, mine was unceremoniously. I was a lineman, so it's you know, you're lucky to get your letter, and your family's there for a quick picture with your coach, and you know, maybe there was something in the paper, but it's nothing like you see today. But it's you know, very interesting. Times have changed, and I think everybody's trying to navigate through that. But no, for me, it's not a lot of pomp and circumstance for a lineman.
Very good. Bob, thank you very much again. Appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy holidays, gentlemen. Enjoy some time off, hopefully with your families, and I'll see you in the next year.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.